County Board of Education to order. At this time, if you'll please stand for Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, first we have a roll call. Mr. Dean, our superintendent.
Here.
I am Chip Ryan. I'm here. Mr. Moose.
Here.
Mr. Ferguson.
Present.
Mr. Berry. Here. Mr. Green.
Here.
Okay, announcement of public hearing procedures. All public participants speaking before the Nicholas County Board of Education will have up to 3 minutes to share their thoughts. No member of the public may present more than once. Individuals may not assign or relinquish their allotted time to another individual. The Nicholas County Board of Education is required to follow the Sunshine Law and may not discuss or answer questions. Therefore, no decisions will be made at tonight's meeting.
Mr. President, Jason Long, of course, here on behalf of administration tonight. I serve as legal counsel to the school system from time to time, and tonight I've been asked to come and help facilitate this school closure hearing. That's what it's called. It's called a school closure hearing. There's a number of steps that the school system has to follow and comply with. There's a state policy, there's a state code, and up to this point, all of those steps have been satisfied. There's been an impact statement that's been released and a closure documents, and as part of this process, the school system has to hold public hearings at the schools that are subject to closure, and unfortunately, Birch River is being recommended for closure, and impacted schools to whereby the students would be recommended to go should the board accept closure. As the board president indicated, as part of tonight's process, the state policy provides that individuals will sign up and speak. We allowed that to happen tonight. And in fact, I know that the meeting has already started. If there's other individuals that want to be included on that list, please let us know. We're not going to say, no, you can't sign up, but I need you to tell me now if you do desire to speak. Typically in this process, I'll just go in order of who signed up, but I see a number of students who signed up tonight, and I'd like to ask that the students be called in order that I've got over here to give the students an opportunity to speak. And that way, if these kids have some extracurricular activities or need to leave with their parents or otherwise, that they'll have that opportunity. As the president indicated, what the board's role and responsibility is tonight is the board is here as kind of as listeners. They're not here to answer questions or engage in dialogue, and I don't want you folks to think that they're doing that because they don't care. This is your all's opportunity to hear from the community. You obviously now have received certain information from administration as it relates to the closure. And I always like to say that I read in media and otherwise that often maybe a board has already prejudged or that this is just a rubber stamp process. I know that's not the case. I know administration knows that's not the case, and I truly want you citizens to understand that as well. Again, as part of the process tonight, it is a public hearing. We will have to time individuals speaking, and we will do that. And if you go over 3 minutes, I'm not going to stand up and say sit down, but just keep that as a courtesy in mind to try to stay within that 3 minutes. Even though I understand that you all have invested a lot more in this community than 3 minutes that you're being afforded tonight. If it goes to 5 minutes, so be it. I anticipate we have sufficient time to be listeners and get to where we need to be. There's a gentleman in here that's going to be a court reporter tonight that transcribes all of this information. That's another requirement that has to take place from the State Department for that to occur. So the State Department will also, that being the State Board of Education, have the comments and review the information. If in fact the board votes to close this school, all the information, everything that occurs tonight will also be submitted to the State Board of Education. And with that said, we'll begin allowing folks to address the board in terms of presentations and statements. If you all have statements that you want to give to the board, either in lieu of making them or after you make them, we'll take those, and I will make sure that every board member gets a copy. And if you don't have a copy for yourself, we'll make sure that we get a copy for you. So again, if there's any statements that these students have that they want to give to the board members, you can speak, we will give it to the board, we'll make sure they get copies, and if you want a copy, we'll make sure we get it back to you as well as parents and community members. With that said, the first student that has signed up is going to be an Amelia, A-M-E-L-Y, A. Asbury. So Amelia and everyone else that's going to speak tonight, we'll ask you to come up and speak into the microphone, just so that all of these folks can hear you and the court reporter can hear you. And just take your time, and I'm sure you're probably nervous, but these folks probably are excited to see you as a student to express yourself, okay?
Hello, my name is Amelia, and I am a fifth grader at Birch. There are many reasons I do not want our school to be closed. The first reason is that our school is so small and its class size is smaller. That gives the teachers more time to work with the students who need extra help. Summersville Elementary would have about 400 students, where our school only has 59. The next is that our school closing would make things harder for many people. Our teachers would all have to find new jobs. Bus rides would be longer to and from school, and it would make it harder for some parents to attend school events. The small size of our school makes it feel like a family and not just a school. The last reason I would like our school to stay open is because if it does, my class will have nowhere to do their senior graduation walk. I also have a little brother that is in second grade, and I want him to grow up close to home. I hope you will consider these things when you make your decision. And I just want to say, please keep our school open, because I've made many great memories here.
Thank you, Amelia. The next student, and I may ask one of our classmates to read what this name is. Amelia, can you help me? Who is this?
Madeline, I guess.
Madeline? Is there Madeline? Madeline, make sure you grab the microphone there, please. Madeline, what's your last name, dear?
Graham.
Graham?
Hi, my name is Madeline. I am a fourth grader here at BR. Please don't shut our school down, because you don't know what it means to me and my friends. Means to me and my friends. I lost.
Maddie, you were super brave.
I'm going to do a great job. I'm going to make sure the board gets a copy of this, okay? And we'll make sure you get a copy back. And again, I apologize if I mispronounced the names. Maybe a Carrie
Cora. Hooker.
Is that you here, just so I can keep track of it?
Oh, no, that's Kenzie.
Hensley, I'm sorry. Hensley, your last name?
Barnett.
Thank you.
Hello, I am Kensley Barnett, a student at BRE. I want to give you some reasons on why you should not shut the school down. Students will have to travel farther. Some people will have grown up here their whole life, from pre-K, kindergarten, first, second, third, and fourth, and fifth. And I think that the students should not have to move because all the students genuinely love this school from the top of their hearts. Teachers here love their jobs, especially Miss Carnett and Miss Davis. They help people throughout their highs and lows, and they will have to find new jobs, which I think they would not want that. I know they love this job and want to keep it even though there are only 59 students. We may not be blood, but together we are a family. We will not get to walk down the hall to graduate and see all the proud faces on the teachers' face. They really care for people. This school has been here forever and taken care of. I really appreciate for keeping the school open. Please do not shut our school down. We love it. And I have been through a bunch of schools, and I have never found a school that can fill in the missing piece of my heart. I've never come so far from a school that makes me feel special. It feels like we're all a family, but I'm so happy when I'm around everybody. This school is so special, and please keep it open, please.
And I apologize, the next student is maybe a Creighton or Creighton? Creighton. Creighton, your last name, I've got it here, but,
Sarah.
and that's spelled
Sayarath.
SayarOTH. A-T-H.
Hello, my name is Corinne, and I go to Birch Elementary. I am a fourth grader, and this is some reasons why I don't want this school to shut down. Number one, the car rides will be longer than usual and use more gas money. My parents wouldn't be able to make it to my plays and presentations. Some of my friends I wouldn't be able to see because they are at a different school. I won't know anyone at a new school. I'm not comfortable in big crowds. That is why I don't want to shut down my school. Thank you.
Next student, can I, Hooker? Cora? Hooker?
Yeah, Hooker.
Hello, my name is Cora Hooker, and I am a fourth grade student at Birch Elementary School. My main reason for wanting to keep our school open is because I grew up here and I know this place like the back of my hand. It would be heartbreaking to shut it down after so many memories it held. Another reason is that pre-K would have to travel farther just to get to school, which in my opinion is a waste of gas money. It will be difficult for those little kids to ride the bus that far. Plus, traveling farther would mean I'd have to wake up early and I would be tired every day. A third reason is some parents won't be able to attend school events more often. The next reason is that teachers here would be finding it hard to find new teaching jobs since the school was closed and there may be no other teaching jobs available close to their home. My friends and I would be separated from each other if we if we go to separate schools. Thank you for listening to my reasons and for taking them into consideration.
The next student is Serenity Penick, P-E-N-I-C-K.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Serenity Penick. I am a student of BRE school, and I have a few reasons why you should not shut down our school. It would make me and my friends and students' parents' lives so much harder because some of us live 30 minutes from the nearest other schools or farther. This is the school that I grew up in, and if you close it, I will be upset because I have a lot of memories here. Memories that can never be replaced, and kids at our school with IEPs and that have 504s may suffer if they are in a bigger classroom. I am afraid kids with IEPs and 504 plans may suffer the most. Small classrooms make a dramatic difference to these kids. What I love most about my small school is I know everyone here, I can be myself, and know that I'm safe here.
Student Jordan Mullins.
Hello, my name is Jordan Mullins, and I am a fifth grade student from Birch Elementary. I'm here today to go over 2 reasons why I think it would be best not to shut down our school. As a student that does have an IEP, I have noticed it is a lot easier to learn whenever we're in smaller classes. And I estimate why is because if there are 200 students with IEPs in one school, it may take longer to get the help that you need. If there's only 10 students that have IEPs in one school, it would be easier to get the help that you need. It would also be harder for me and some of my friends because I fear that most of us may get lost in newer and bigger schools.
Jordan was the last student that was signed up. And again, normally we would then go to the next adult that is signed in to speak. Are there any parents of students who've signed up to speak that would like to go ahead and speak in case your student has an extracurricular activity or a reason that you may need to leave?
We have some past students that have signed up if you want to let them.
Okay. And from the past students, I'm not sure I'll be able to distinguish those, so I think I'll just go in order in terms of who our folks are. So the first individual we'll start with is Ms. Wagner, Phyllis Wagner, W-A-G-G-N-E-R.
You call me.
I don't like to do this. My name is Phyllis Wagner, and I met Mr. Bean at the lane at the Cornerstone at the high school in Hemsey, on the other one I know here. But all through school, I've known the Board of Education because I was an original kid to start here. Whenever the school was opened here, I was a student at Proper School, one-room school. They closed it, they tore it down while they were building this. Well, they moved us down here, and the school was not hardly finished.
Put it closer to
Oh,
you. This
no.
gentleman's got it.
Anyway, when they moved us down here, the school was not completely finished, and the pauper kids had to go down in the lunchroom for about 3 months through a Mr. Alan Brennan. So that's how I started here at Birch Elementary. I went to school here my 8 years. Then I went to Nicholas County High School. I graduated in the class of '61, which was the best class to ever graduate. And I've been to all of our class reunions. After I graduated, I got married. I've been married 61 years. And I came back to, I started cooking, and I cooked at the high school, and that's how I got to know Mrs. Matheny so well, Pat Matheny. She was principal at the high school when I was a cook over there. And then I transferred back here to my original roots, and I cooked here till I retired. And Mrs. Beveridge and the school gave me a retirement party here in this room right here, and had a bluegrass band up there instead of you all for my retirement party. And I want to tell you all what this school has done, not just for me, but for our whole community. And anyway, do I have to quit? Oh, anyway, one thing it's done is, this is where we always had the elections, which is very important for America, because we had the freedom to vote for what we want. We used to have nothing in the school, but now we have them here in this room. The only time we've not had them in these two places was during COVID. We had down in the lunchroom one time. And I've worked at all the elections. And also, this here they have out back, that's where a helicopter lands for meet the ambulance. I don't know if y'all knew that or not, but our playground back there is. I don't want it to grow up in Bruin Stage. I'd rather have that helicopter there to pick up our loved ones. And anyway, after, and I'm getting scared. Anyway, they do that. But the most important thing I want to get back to is some of these children that are going to be uprooted now were not even born in 2016 when we had the flood. And this is the only building in Birch River that was not flooded. They had burned everything in here. Our health department set up right in there and gave all of us tetanus shots. We had to come here to get our water, our fertilizer. My home is 4 cinder block high, and Birch River got up 3 cinder blocks. We had to come here to get the fertilizer from FEMA to put around it, all the stuff we do. What would we do if we didn't have this? Even our fire department was flooded. Well, we've got a new fire department now, but it's not laid out to have the elections in or nothing like that. Because if they even pulled the fire trucks out to let us use the bays, they couldn't have a fire call because they can't come in while the election's going on to get their bunker gear. We need our school left here for that. But the most important thing we need it here for is for these students that have been here all this time, and especially the ones that have been born since that. I know you all want to hear, but you're getting us a new school built now. I'd like for school to stay here forever, but I at least want it to stay here until the new schools are built.
Emily Neal. And again, make sure we talk into the microphone only so that it can be captured on the recordings that need to be provided should this matter proceed.
I apologize, I'm a crier. Hello, my name is Emily Neal. I'm a registered voter and resident of Nicholas County. I'm a mother of 3 children. My oldest daughter is a 2023 graduate of NCHS. My middle son is an 8th grader at Summersville Middle School. My youngest son is currently a 4th grader at BRE. I am speaking with you today on behalf of all the children that are students of BRE. We are begging you not to close our school. Please vote no towards the closure. BRE children love their school. BRE students have some of the most improved and highest test scores in the county. The attendance here is proven to be the best in the county, all because BRE kids love to go to their school. These kids experience school here like no other school. They have a greenhouse to learn gardening, skills, The amazing playground gives them the opportunity to explore and grow fond of being outdoors. Watching a reoccurring bird nest and the mama bird come back year after year is a gift for young curious minds. The kids get to watch the growing and ever-changing trees each fifth grade class before them has planted. These trees give the children excitement about their futures as a fifth grader to get to choose their tree that will grow, evolve, and continuously change as they will throughout their lifetimes. BRE doesn't just teach math and reading. Each child is taught how special and important they are as individuals in their community. Please don't take this away from them. There is absolutely no benefits of closing the school with consolidation. Summersville Elementary School is an older school that has maintenance issues that needs addressed. Unhealthy airflow and sewer issues are a concern. Placing 100+ more children there is an injustice to both BRE and SES students. The longer travel times along the dangerous trips over Powell's Mountain poses increased risk to younger children that intensifies in the harsh winter months. These concerns alone increase unnecessary risk and stress for these children and their families. Applying for waivers to extend bus transport times for these kids is no way to protect and do for the best benefits for them. Saving money is not an acceptable excuse and should not be the only reason for these two closures, but it clearly is. If this is voted to happen, the BOE will lose more precious kids. Many will go to other counties. Families will apply for the Hope Scholarship and place their children in private schools or homeschools. With this being said, I am again begging you to make the right decision to vote no against the closure of BRE and consolidation with SES. If change is inevitable, wait for the new school for these children. They need consistency and respect. Again, I'm a registered voter and resident of Nicholas County. Thank you for the opportunity to address my concerns.
And again, in any of your statements that you've read, if you'd like the board members to have those, if we provide copies, we can make sure that that occurs.
Excuse my spelling. I didn't know I was handing it in.
Do you want to type it in and get it back to me, or is this okay?
That's fine.
April Davis.
Good evening. Come before you as a representative of Birch River Elementary teachers. And I come with a deep sense of urgency, not just as an educator, but as someone who is invested in the future of our children, our community, and the heart of Birch River Elementary. As we gather here today, I stand before you with a firm but compassionate plea. Please do not rush to close our school. The stakes are too high and the impacts too profound for our children, our families, and our community. Research tells us smaller schools are more effective at creating tight-knit communities of support. In a school like BRE, teachers know every child by name, understand their individual needs, and have the capacity to offer personalized attention that larger schools simply cannot match. In our community, most of our children come from homes affected by poverty, instability, and trauma. It seems as if any time Birch River is in the news, it's over violence or crime. We cannot ignore the reality of adverse childhood experiences, ACE scores, affecting our students' ability to learn and thrive. Children who experience trauma need more than just academic instruction. They need a safe, stable, and supportive environment where they feel known, valued, and cared for. Birch River Elementary, with its smaller class sizes, is uniquely positioned to provide this kind of sanctuary for our children. Smaller schools allow teachers and staff to develop deeper, more trusting relationships with their students, and it is these relationships that help children heal from trauma, manage their emotions, and succeed academically. Research shows that students in smaller schools are less likely to experience bullying, are more likely to form positive peer relationships, and tend to feel a greater sense of belonging, all factors that contribute to a healthier social and emotional development, which we all know is crucial in the post-COVID world. Closing our school now and merging us with another will cause our students to experience far more bullying, and they will lose their sense of belonging. If we wait until the K-8 school is finished being built, they will know they would belong there because then it's their new school and it was built for them. Furthermore, we must consider the impact on our community. This school is where our community goes to gather for joyful holidays as well as during emergencies, such as when Birch River was flooded in 2016. To rush to close it would be to sever the ties that bind us together, closing the heart and history of generations of our community. I urge you to think about the long-term effects of this decision. If the board votes to rush to close Birch River, we may save money in the short term, but we will pay a far steeper price in the emotional, social, and educational costs to our children. We know that investing in small schools, and schools like BRE, is an investment in the future of our children. Please do not rush in closing BRE, putting our children through unnecessary stress. Their lives are unpredictable enough. Our building is their source of stability and safety. I understand our numbers are lowering and consolidations must happen. But if it must happen, let it be down the road when the new school is built and ready to welcome all the new students at once. If, however, despite all of the testimonies today, you still decide to hurry up and close our little school, please consider placing at least half of our staff in the schools our students transfer to in an effort to bring some sense of stability and familiarity in a very unfamiliar and scary place.
Libby Kaufman.
Board Superintendent, I'm Libby
Ms.
Kaufman. Oh, sorry. I'm Libby Kaufman, former board member and resident of Birch River, and I'm here today in opposition to closing Birch River Elementary School. The moving of these students into Somersville Elementary School is placing them into a school that has far more problems than this school, especially the air quality, which will only be exacerbated by adding more students. Somersville Elementary is getting a new school because it is the oldest of the remaining original grade schools and because of the problems that have been raised over the past few years by the students, the parents, and especially the staff regarding the conditions of the school. BRE has excelled the previous year in their testing. They were first in the county in science, and they received 4 medals, 2 gold, 1 bronze, and 1 silver last year for their state summative assessment testing. And I feel that this is attributed to the small classroom setting which they now enjoy, in spite of the split grades that they have endured. Some of these students come from troubled homes, being raised by elderly grandparents. This alone suggests that they need the extra attention that they receive here at this school. In Kanawha County, they're proposing to consolidate 4 elementary schools into 1. But as reported last evening on the local news, the maximum bus ride for these students would be 34 minutes. Somersville Elementary is 24 miles from Birch River, not accounting for bringing the students from the far reaches of the area and the long haul up the mountain. A bus driver has told me that some of these kids can be on the bus for up to an hour each way. But so most of you have grandchildren. Would you want your little grandchild to ride a bus for up to 2 hours a day just to go to school? I just read in the Chronicle a few weeks ago that last year's audit reflected the board was sitting on almost $18 million of unrestricted money. I fail to believe that unless there's a lot of mismanagement on behalf of the board, that keeping these 2 schools, Birch River and Zela, from closing them, that they would be breaking up the bank. And I realize that there have been several positions added to the central office staff that were not previously there. Some of you ran for the board because you did not want high school students to have to ride the bus that long. Has something changed your mind that you feel that it is okay for now the little ones to endure? In closing, I would also point out that this school is used as an emergency relief center. During the flood of 2016, FEMA said that the fire department could not be used because it is flooded. That only leaves this school to fulfill the need for this area. And I just feel that this school is very important to this community. It does serve several uses with the voting, the emergency. We had veterans dinners here. Several community events are held here. It's really all we have. So with that, I appreciate your time.
Sue Frank.
and listening to me. Can you hear me? Because we're having problems hearing all of you, the ones that are speaking. So, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. Well, first of all, I went to school here also in Birch River Elementary School. And then we had to travel when we went to high school to Summersville on the bus. It does put extra hardships on the students, and Libby hit a lot of points with the younger children. And I'm sure, as all of you know, there is a lot of grandparents raising their grandchildren. And as far as the travel to Summersville, back and forth, extracurricular activities, sports, it's going to make it harder on each and every student and the parents. And we know, first and foremost, is the students and the best education that they can get. And I do not believe that you can throw these kids into the middle school with older kids, and I don't know exactly how it's going to work. I do know that they're trying to build the new school, which will be great for Summersville, but it certainly won't be great for our children, our grandchildren, the people of the community. And one most important thing that Libby just brought up was this community service. And this building is the only building in this community that we have in case there's another flood or there's another terrible disaster that needs to be had. And a lot of these rural areas do not have it. And that is needed most importantly also for the community. And I know a lot of this stuff is politics, politics, politics. And money, money, money. Whether this is coming from a federal level, state level, whatever, but I feel that our policies need to be changed in the schools. They need to be coming from the state level and not a federal level. My probably third great grandfather here in Nicholas County back in the 1800s was one of the first ones to get the free school system. Now, the free school system does not mean we need bukus of money to shut this school, to build a new school, to shut this school down, and more cost to bus these children to Summersville, and the wear, the tear, the problems with the children, and the children are the most important, and to get an education. So this school needs to be here, it needs to be open, and the politics, and I understand that I talked to Mr. Bean, correct? Mm-hmm. That there's a lot of students, there's only 62 students here right now. And I asked if it was after COVID, he said from 2016, is that what you told me? Up until now? So a lot of people are homeschooling their children. And I believe this is because of COVID. The government actually scared the people to death. They are still scared to death. Even the teachers, the education, the state workers, they didn't work. But you know, all of our healthcare workers that were in the hospital, all of the other people in the community took care of everybody, and including the teachers and whomever with the state, that they get good pensions, they get the best health care. So, you know, something needs to be cut. Let's cut it somewhere else rather than taking away from our students in Nicholas County and Birch River. We are all taxpayers and we deserve equal opportunities, and throwing these kids that are getting a wonderful education at this school, as I did, I feel. But anyway, this is not coming from a script because I didn't even know I was going to speak. But then another thing also is the property values in our area. They take the schools out of our area. Where are we going to be? Does anyone want to move to an area that, hey, what do they look at? First thing, they look at the school system. So you think that our anyone's gonna want to move to Birch River because of our school systems? No. When our kids, and we have to travel so far, and like I said, also, repeat again, these parents that are taking care of these young children now are grandparents, not parents. Every parent, if it's in the household today, works. You people are older, and you know how it was when we were younger. So, we didn't have both parents in the workforce. Today, these kids struggle at home the minute they get home from not having two parents to be home for them. But that is the way that society has made it today. And what they're teaching in the schools today is totally wrong. And it also needs to be changed and put back to a state level. Math, for instance. You can't even help your child or your grandchild with math because we've got a system that's broken down into how many steps. Can any of you help your grandchildren with math? Probably not. Because it is a thing that goes completely across the federal level now, and every school's supposed to be the same, so that if they happen to move, which probably none of us in Birch River are going anywhere. But anyway, the thing of it is, there's just lots of things and things that these children don't realize, but we have to look out for their future. And the children are the most important. Thank you.
Thank you. Holly Bell, B-A-I-L.
Board members, members of our community, thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today. My name is Holly Bale, and I'm the cafeteria manager here at Birch River Elementary. But today, I stand before you as a voice for the students, families, and educators who depend on this school and all it represents. I urge you to reconsider the proposed closure of this institution. Birch River Elementary is more than just a place of learning. It is a cornerstone of this community. One example is its food service program, which provides much more than meals. It provides stability and nourishment for the children. For many of our students, the meals they receive at school are their most reliable source of nutrition. School food service is often brushed aside as unimportant, but I'm here to tell you firsthand that it is just as vital as academics in its own right. Research shows a direct link between access to healthy meals and academic success. For some children, this is the only hot meal they'll receive that day, and we take that very seriously. In this small setting, we know each kid by name. We can tell you their favorite cereal, which kid gets what condiment on their tray, and which kid will always eat raw broccoli but never cooked. They are comfortable enough with us to ask for things they like or express what they dislike. And just as if they were adults, we take their feedback seriously. The result? Our student lunch numbers speak for themselves. We have the self-proclaimed best school food in the county, and that's something we take pride in because we cook from the heart. If I wouldn't eat it, I won't feed it to them. And in our lunchroom, for the half hour that we have them, they're our children too. We want to see them succeed and do well, and they just can't do that if their bellies are empty and growling. This sense of belonging cannot be replicated in a larger, more impersonal setting. By closing this school, we risk losing the very essence of what makes it a safe haven for so many students. A place where, when asked what they were thankful for, out of all the things in the world they could say, they said school food. If they move to a bigger school, they will just be a lunch number, and that breaks my heart, because they deserve to be the kid who likes mustard instead of ketchup. They deserve to be known by name by their lunch ladies. Instead of closure, let's work together to find solutions. What's at stake here is not just the building. It's the health, education, and future of our children. I implore you to prioritize their well-being over short-term savings. Please reconsider this decision and join us in finding a way to preserve this vital lifeline for our students and our community. Thank you.
Gracie Bell.
Good afternoon. My name is Gracie Bell, and I am a sophomore in Nicholas County High School. I have a 4.0 GPA and is currently taking 3 honors courses. I participate in many extracurricular activities, such as playing flute and piccolo for the Marching Grizzlies. I'm a member of the track team, and I run hurdles, and I throw discus. I'm a proud member of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes and also the FFA. I tell you this not to brag on myself, but to help you better understand the foundation which was laid for me to get here. I am an alumni of BRE. I have attended here pre-K through 5th. If it weren't for the school and its intimate atmosphere, I'm sure I could not stand here and tell you of the same accomplishments. These teachers and staff took a genuine interest in me. They encouraged me when I was unsure. They accepted me and all my quirks and weirdness. They made sure I mattered. But not just me. They did this for every student. The most beneficial thing about these smaller schools, they create an atmosphere where a child can be vulnerable and not be afraid to fail or get a question wrong. The children know they won't be made fun of or berated for not knowing. They will be offered the help. They will be offered the help to get back on track so that they truly understand and are not lost. I learned that when I went to middle school, that is not just the case in larger schools. They do not and cannot take the time to make sure every single student is on track and up to speed. In my opinion, elementary school is an especially crucial time for the basic foundation to be laid for the rest of their lives. I still use the things I was taught here every day of my life. They stuck with me because these teachers took an interest in me and was invested in my future. Not just me, but every student that has walked through those doors has gotten a quality education because this staff seen to it that every child felt heard and important. I stand here today asking you to reconsider closing this little school. These children deserve to get the same one-on-one attention that I did as a student here. It has really made all the difference in my education thus far, and I'm sure it will stick with me even as I go on in college. And in this crowd today, I have teachers that have sat with me through everything that I've done. My own mother is a cook here, and it means a lot to these kids. Thank you.
Courtney McClung.
Did not plan on talking either, but I come to you from a different place. I'm not an alumni here. I don't have kids that go here. I'm not even from this county. I'm from Pocahontas County, and I came here on a favor. Basically, they needed somebody to do an after-school program, and they called begging me to do it. And I actually live in Craigsville, so I don't even benefit from the community things that happen here and all that this building is used for. So I came here and fell in love with this place and these teachers and these kids and all that happens here. I have a different job now. I'm working in Fayetteville, and I drive here. I leave my job every day at lunch, and I drive an hour from Fayetteville to here to be able to spend a couple hours with these kids because they're special and they deserve it and they're worth it. And I've seen so much growth and so much life in these kids, and it's just a really special place and a special school. like I said, I don't have any stake in it. I don't have the memories here. I don't have any of that like these people do. Coming in from an outsider's point of view, you can tell how special of a place this is. I've done summer school here now. I've done after school here. I'm helping with fundraisers. I'm helping with, things just because I love these kids. I love these teachers. I love this school. And not just me, there's tons of me's out there that are just doing things that just love these kids and just want them to have their safe place and have seen the growth that these kids have taken and have seen their hearts whenever you spend time here with them.
Delegate Heather Colley.
Good evening, my name is Delegate Heather Tully. I reside at 1829 Webster Road, Summersville, West Virginia. I have 5 grandchildren that attend school in Nicholas County, 2 at Mount Nebo, 2 at Summersville Elementary, and 1 at New Life Christian Academy. The proposal for consolidating middle and high school presents several compelling arguments in favor, primarily centered around enhanced resource allocation, improved educational offerings, and increased extracurricular offerings. Unlike elementary schools, which thrive on community ties and smaller class sizes, middle and high schools can benefit from the efficiencies that come with consolidation. One significant advantage of consolidating middle and high schools is the ability to pool resources. Larger student populations allow for a wider range of courses, including advanced placement courses, specialized programs, and diverse extracurricular activities that small schools may struggle to offer. This access to more comprehensive curriculum can better prepare students for college and careers by providing them with essential skills and experience that may otherwise be unavailable. Moreover, consolidation can lead to improved financial management and operational efficiencies, especially at the middle and high school levels. Reducing administrative overhead, centralizing services, districts can allocate more funding toward instructional resources, support services, ultimately enhancing the educational experience for students. In terms of socialization, larger middle and high schools provide students with the opportunity to interact with a more diverse peer group. Students can learn to navigate a broader range of social dynamics. In larger institutions can prepare older students to prepare for the realities of the workplace and college. However, when it comes to elementary schools, the arguments for consolidation are much less compelling. Elementary school students benefit significantly from nurturing environments and small schools. The development of strong relationships with their teachers and peers in a familiar setting is crucial during the formative years. Consolidating elementary schools risks disrupting the sense of belonging and community, which is vital for younger students' emotional and social growth. In conclusion, while middle and high school students middle and high school consolidations present clear advantages, including extra resources, breadth of curriculum, and social exposure, it is essential to recognize the unique needs of elementary school students. Prioritizing the distinct benefits of small elementary schools while embracing the opportunities that consolidation offers for older students can create a balanced educational framework that fosters growth and success across all grade levels. We know that isn't quite what has happened here in Nicholas County, unfortunately. I want to talk about some numbers. If you are to consolidate these 4 elementary schools, that's 574 students. I pulled the numbers from West Virginia Department of Education yesterday. I heard a lot of complaining and gnashing of teeth when we talked about consolidating Richwood Middle and Richwood High School, which by those same sets of numbers would only have 526 students. We heard 250 plus small schools facts from the Richwood incident commander. We also heard him spout off about being that they were the primary flood affected community. Well, I think it kind of seems to me people forgot about Birch River and they forgot about the children that live down in Dixie and Belva that also attend Zela. We were talking, I read a lot about the drop in enrollment and the concern about the Hope Scholarship. Parents are looking for options for their students. They're looking for options when boards of education do things such as this to provide education in a different setting. I've heard a lot about your new attendance initiatives. How well do you think that's going to go with these students here in Birch River riding the bus, particularly the pre-K and kindergarten students, in the wintertime? The legislature did the Third Grade Success Act, which I co-sponsored, to put some extra aids in your lower elementary school classrooms, because we know that those younger elementary school students need good foundational teaching for literacy and numeracy. What we've done here is essentially cannibalize education for our younger students at the sake of preserving a certain area of the county, I feel. I hear that you were also down at the SBA today asking for about $14 million for the Career Technical Center, which I think is a noble effort. I think that we do actually have to expand our career technical offerings. But think about how much money we could have saved and where that money could have gone for these students had we made some different decisions. I also understand that you have hired an assistant superintendent, a couple of extra directors, and no offense, outside counsel, also outside counsel that I heard a lot of people complaining about when they were campaigning. $2 million was also expended at the Cherry River site to build that school out over Policy 6200 for an auditorium and I think a gym. So I think there's some funding that we could probably find to fund some of these schools here and keep these small elementary schools open.
Amen.
Thank you.
Robert Summers.
Good evening, my name is Robert L. Summers. I have brought up 2 children in this school, 4 grandchildren in this little school, and I consider it one of the finest. That's my opinion. But you know what? I know this is going to go on, and I've watched the school closings down through the years, from Wyden to Deal to Clay. I've watched all these schools close down, but there's one thing for sure. It's going to happen. And I see it written. But here's one thing I would like for you to think about. While you're building this other school, leave this little school alone. Let these children get a little older. Let them get a little stronger. Because it's so devastating for children. I hear it from the students. I hear it from the children. They come crying because of that. But I think you ought to reconsider this little school. I mean, I'm right now in a fundamental teaching class, trying to get my education to teach. I've got 1 more semester. And that's my goal, because that's my heart's desire. It's for the children. So, like the young lady said, think about the children. You know, consider them instead of considering where you're going to put your budget. Consider these children. And I didn't come here to make a ruckus. I come here to plead. Thank you.
Butch King.
Well, guys, I don't know if I got anything to add to what I've heard already, but I've been hearing some talking points about this consolidation that I would like to bring up. I've heard from the kids, I heard the tears in their voice. They love their school, and we keep hearing of quality of education. And one of the talking points that I've heard is that these talking points, you say that when two of the schools, smaller schools, consolidate, they can offer more specialized courses. Hey guys, what's happened to reading, writing, and arithmetic? These kids, these elementary school kids, need a firm foundation. One of the girls mentioned the foundation that had brought her to where she is now. That's what our kids need. We can offer them all kinds of specialized courses, and they will miss out on their reading, writing, and arithmetic. I may be old-fashioned, but I grew up here. I went to school to school. My children went to school to school. I have a daughter who has a master's degree from WVU, and the foundations that were laid here at Birch River Elementary School. And I appreciate that, and I do not want to see this school closed. Elementary school students need that solid foundation before these specialized courses can be added. The ability to save money is another issue we've heard a lot about tonight. And you point out that the schools that are consolidated, the unused buildings will either be sold or be used for another purpose. You know, in our depressed economy, who's going to buy it? We don't know. And if they sit here, you're going to have to heat them. You're going to have to have lighting in them. So, you know, the utility and maintenance cost, you say, will be reduced, especially in the consolidated, if the consolidated school is newer and energy efficient. They cite transportation costs. We've heard all those things here today. And those things are issues, but are they the larger issue? You know, I'm 74 years old, and I know how to run a family. Things are going to cost more. You just have to make adjustments in order to meet those needs. Longer bus rides for children who get up too early already. You know, these things. You talk about employees needed for the non-academic services, such as custodians and the janitors and the secretaries and all of those things. More work for less people. You know, how are we going to put up with that? Remember, guys, education is more than money. I've heard here tonight about the loss of identity. Local communities identify themselves with their schools. We always have, and we always will. Consolidation involves the closing of Birch River School. That is terrible. While saving money is a need, the loss of the school's identity becomes very, very negative. Parents, grandparents, friends want their kids, many of them want them to attend the school that they attended. I wanted mine to attend the school that I attended. They did. I fear our children will be lost in the larger community. We heard from a couple of the younger kids here about losing their identity here at Birch River. You ship them off somewhere else, they lose that identity, and that is emotionally negative for them. And someone else said here tonight that here in Birch River, we have very few things left here for the children to involve themselves in. And if they lose their school, what are they gonna do? My fear is that they will get out and they will get in drugs. They will get in stealing, theft. They'll get into some kind of mischief that we don't want them to. Our schools is sort of a buffer for that. Now, not a whole lot has been said about this, but the economic impact on Birch River. Look around you guys. We don't have a whole lot of businesses. We don't have a lot of things that will draw people in. Some of the money saved as a result of consolidation, they say, is a result of cutting jobs. You know, some of the teachers here at this school may not get another job somewhere else for a while. I know there are a lot of jobs out there, but small town schools are often the largest employees in a town. And probably that's the case here. When a school closes, it can leave a negative impact on the community. School workers who are laid off will face a much stiffer competition for those positions in the consolidated school, and it's a good chance that they won't get hired. If you get a real good elementary school teacher and she comes goes into competition with one of these teachers that has all these specialized course certificates, they're going to choose the one with the specialized courses, and that is a shame. Finally, the money spent on the schools are partially returned to the community. They stop at Gomar and buy gas. They go down there and buy them a sandwich. You know, those expenditures won't be there anymore. The teachers will be over Summersville doing the same thing. So we ask, and we beg you not to close Birch River Elementary. You see, you've heard here tonight the impact that it will have on this community. And don't take our schools away from us. Thank you very much.
Haley Bond.
Is it cool if I stand because I am currently 9 months pregnant and I cannot get up and down on the chair easily? Thank you. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and start off by saying, how would you guys feel about losing an average of $300,000 starting next year if you consolidate your schools? Now I'm going to let that mill over for a second. I am a Birch River Elementary alumni. So is my dad. So is my grandmother, who also came back to teach at this school. I remember my first day here at Birch River Elementary. All I wanted to do was go cry back to my daddy and go home. But I had Miss Conrad and Miss Linda who made my entire experience starting out in this school amazingly. This school, although it is small, the community is now starting to grow and see more students coming in because there were so many people who have came back and moved back to this neighborhood just for this school system. I am one of them. I want my kids to enjoy and be able to have this school like I did. All right, now back to that $300,000 starting next year for the consolidation. I know of at least 28 parents that have 2 or more kids who are going to take out their children from the school system to be homeschooled. Now that is $5,000 on average per kid that you are losing. So say two kids per 28 parents, that is $280,000 coming out of the school's funding, correct? So say if those parents have 3 or more kids, that is doubling that number. And it is a guaranteed, if the school consolidates, these parents do not want to send their children to a school who is dilapidated with so many children that their kids are not going to learn anything because they don't have that special connection with their teachers to learn. My daughter is a preschool student for the second time because of her age. And she has learned so much within these past, say, year and a half that she's been here, because the school year's not over yet. She talks, she can spell her name, she can tell her letters. And on average with these larger schools, their students can't even do that by the end of their second year. So these students have a strong connection, these parents have a strong connection to this school. And I would honestly hate to see this school go because of just the experience and the connections that this school, this building has with the community that is growing. There is more children being born. There is more kids coming into this school that is going into the school district. So with losing students to homeschooling, that's more money that is being taken away from the Board of Education to fund everything. And that is just stating the facts that I have heard and talked to other parents about since the consolidation was mentioned. Which, if there was actually a school that was large enough with enough teachers to actually teach these children, then that would be a completely different story because, as we all know, the middle school is still in pods. So where is that one-on-one connection with those students? Because I can tell you, every single student in this school is appreciated and is nurtured into the person that they are going to grow into. May that be a congresswoman or a doctor or maybe the next principal of this school. Our children are the base of our communities. And if you want to put them into a school that is not ready for such a large amount of impressionable children, then you are ruining their futures. You are taking away everything that they need to learn, to build, to grow. It's like they're a little plant. If you don't water it and nurture it and give it the sunshine that it needs, what happens to it? It's dead within a week. So think of our children as those precious, precious little plants that you want to see flourish and grow into beautiful plants, bushes, roses, trees. Thank you.
Mr. President, that is the last individual public speaker. Obviously, again, I want to make it clear the board is not making any decisions tonight. The board is to hear what the public has to say. There'll be future board meetings, I believe, maybe December 2nd, in which the board will give consideration whether or not they take action. That'll be determined at that point in time. I believe the superintendent would like to make a comment, and at the end of all of these processes, I think it's important, at least for me, I get it, I'm from the outside, I'm from an adjoining county, but I appreciate your all's professionalism in here tonight on some difficult decisions that administration has to make recommendations on, and these 5 board members have to make decisions on.
Thank you. Thank you, Jason. Yeah, I want to kind of reiterate what Jason said. I appreciate the decorum that the community has presented to us in a very respectful way. I admire the passion you have for your school and your community. I think it's admirable. And like you said, you know, the board will take all of these comments into consideration before they make the final decision on anything. And yeah, we kind of planned on making this decision at the December 2nd meeting. Doesn't mean they actually will. There's a lot to go over here. There's a lot of feelings out there that we really take seriously and want to consider all those things. Now, some of the comments were made were not 100% accurate. I would like to be able to step in and say something about that, but I'm not going to do that at this point. But there's no doubt that your passion and your concern is real. There's nothing fake about that. And we definitely admire that and appreciate that. And we appreciate you coming out and supporting your school. Thank you very much.
So number 5, school announcements of next hearings or meetings. School closure hearing Tuesday, November 19th at Zela Elementary at 7 o'clock. That's here shortly. School closure hearing Lake Creek Elementary School Wednesday, November 20th at the Nicholas County Board of Education, starting at 5. School consolidation hearing Summersville Elementary at the Nicholas County Board of Education, starting at 6. School closure hearing Summersville Elementary School at the Nicholas County Board of Education, starting at 7. School closure hearing Summersville Middle School Wednesday, November 20th at 8. And then our next regular meeting will be Monday, December 2nd. The meeting will be held at the Nicholas County Board of Education. And the purpose of that meeting will be to conduct routine business and possible action on the closing or consolidations of all the schools involved. And at this time, we will not be closing the meeting. We'll be going to recess. Thank you.